A blue. Do you reckon he's got a blue?
Yeah.
What color is this? Is this brown?
Yeah,
Or
brown.
or is this like an orange?
Actually, I'm gonna go grey.
Gray.
Like black and grey.
Colorblind, you old man? This cannot be gray.
No, not you. Him. Oh, it's blue.
Is it blue? Called it. I think I remember he had a blue one.
I never said it was blue.
He didn't say it, did he?
Yeah, I said I can't wear it because it's blue and I had a green shirt on, so I had to go change my shirt to a brown shirt.
Well, I don't remember that, and I called it, so I'm gonna take it.
Cool, man.
Cool.
I
All
was
right.
Googling when is National
Hold on.
Phono Day.
Let me get this fucking thing up.
February
Is-
10.
Is this like the 6-month anniversary then?
Yeah, we're just a bit late.
Cool. Well, I'm starting the pod. We got a big red dot. We got things to discuss, and not a lot of time to discuss them. So I want to get right into it, guys. Welcome back to the Holin None Podcast. We're running a day late today. That's all right. We had some technical issues yesterday, but we're back. Wouldn't miss it. Always here for our fans. You're here with Shanky. Big shout out to Danny Bidness. How you doing, Danny?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Just getting things prepared.
And if you're not looking at us on the big screen, we're all wearing our flannels today. Don't know why. It just happened. And a big shout out to Hayden High Tees in the red flannel. How you going, Hayden?
Good. Thank you. Ready
Good.
to roll.
Big weekend. We had the Open Championship, something we've all been looking forward to. One of, I think, the best majors every year. It's a different major too, out of the U.S. And it was, I don't know, I thought it was a great competition. We'll get into that. But also a big shout out to the Barracuda Championship. I think if you ended up watching that ended up being a pretty good tournament as well. So big shout out there to those who didn't quite make it into the Open, but played in the Barracuda on the PGA. This week, Hayden's teeing us off for our trivia. Hayden says he's got something very intellectual planned for this session. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Cool. Get into it. All right. Same deal. Messenger answers, please. And there is a strange one at the end if we want to do it, just depending how it goes. We can move on or we can do it depending how we go. All right. Are we ready? Question 1. Nice and easy for two intellectual men such as yourselves. What edition of the Open have we just seen? How many have been played? What number is this one?
Too easy,
Come on, mate. Come on.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's make sure we get it right.
Yeah.
Righto. 1 each. Well done. 151st Open. How many times has Royal Liverpool hosted the Open? They said it on the broadcast about 500 times.
I think I've got it. Maybe not.
Because they were hosting it. I know they were hosting it back in the 1800s. So it's been a couple.
I know what the original prize pool was. I think the original prize pool was £30, something like that. The winning score was 74 on the last day.
That's big money. Can we get an
£30
answer
and a
from
handshake.
Can we get an answer?
Yeah. I'm gonna say. Oh, that feels like too many.
Come on, mate.
I'm gonna say this.
Well, you were closer than Dan. So there's been 13.
That's what I was gonna say. That's literally what I was gonna say. Oh,
13.
I had 13, and I'm like, that's too many.
Closest doesn't count, so too bad.
Oh wait, maybe I was like 6 years. No, anyway, all good.
So,
I said 6. I was way wrong.
But, Brian Harmin obviously played a Titleist bag, Titleist athlete, Titleist ball, as you do, best ball in golf. And out of the top 10, how many used a Titleist ball?
How many used a Titleist ball out of the top 10?
Yeah.
Is it top 10 including ties?
Hey, you can't look up the list.
You
Hey,
can't?
I could see the monitor in your eyes. You're just going to look up who they're sponsored by.
I'm not looking at who
these Titleist ball too. So I can't remember if that was ties all the way, but I did it I did 10 deep. So
okay, 10 deep or like till the people who came T10 because there's 3 of them.
I think it was 10 deep.
I think it's that. I'm trying to think of all the people in the top 10.
I know for a fact 2 of them don't use it. but I don't know about the rest.
So we got 2 from Watsy and 7 from Dan. You're both incorrect. There was 5.
Wait, was the question
right
who
in the
did it
middle.
or who did use it?
Who did? It's still 5 out of 10.
Because I know Fleetwood does it. McElroy does it.
We don't
Either
need to
way,
say
it's
them.
5 out of 10.
We don't need to go over them.
No, because you
Well,
said 2 and I said 7, so I feel like we were on different pages.
Well, you
there.
said 8. Did you say 8?
I said 7 because I thought it was who. I thought how many did use it because I know Rory doesn't.
we're still
Fleetwood
tied
doesn't.
at 1-1. We're
I still
tied
don't.
at
I
1-1.
still
Stop
don't like
talking,
how you're.
stop talking,
I still
stop
don't like how
talking.
you're googling. I just
Hold
don't. I
on,
don't.
I'm not googling.
Not good
but
for
who's
trivia.
The other,
Gotta
who's
put
the
the
other
phones
guys
away.
Who use it? Who's the other guy?
3 players came T2. What balls did they use? You get a point per player and ball. I'm going to tell you the players. Actually, I'll tell you the players, and you tell me what balls they used. John Rahm, Sepp Strucker, and Jason Day.
Do you want these? Do you want the specific ball or the brand?
The brand. Brand's fine.
Right. So Kim, Strucker, Day,
No.
and Rahm.
Strucker, Day, and Rahm I've written down.
Well, Kim came second too.
Oh, well, I didn't write them down. So
Okay, so what we're doing: Strucker, Day, and Rahm.
a point for each ball you get right.
Oh, I don't know about this one.
Do I have to put which ball the player belongs to?
Yeah. Yeah, you should probably know at least 1 or 2.
I think I'm wrong with one of those, or maybe even 2.
Watsy's got 2 right.
Yeah, I knew I was wrong with 1.
I didn't give you the players, but I mean, you can put 2 and 2 together.
Dan's got 1 right.
What were they?
So Sepp Strucker uses a Strixon ball. Well done, Simon. That's the hardest one. Jason Day uses a Bridgestone.
Is he Bridgie now?
He does.
Yes.
Of course he does.
He's been Bridgie for years. And John Rahm's obviously Mr. Callaway himself.
Yeah, I got that one, but
All right, last chance for Danny to come back on this question. 12 players have made the cut in every single major. They are the guys. They're the guys you can probably name a lot of them. So I'm gonna start with Danny because he's losing, and you guys can keep going until you get 2 wrong.
So these are not players in the top whatever. These are just any players
These
who
are
played
just
who have never missed a cut.
Correct.
But I'm
going to give you guys a hint. They are big name players, all of them.
Sorry, did you say players who haven't missed the cut this year, not ever, right?
Any major, like this
Ever.
year, in any major this year.
Ever.
But they're all big name players.
Wait, this year?
Sorry, this year or
This year.
ever?
This year.
This year. Okay, so any
Okay,
major
different.
this
Yeah,
year.
it's different.
Okay, because that's
Big name players.
because ever would be very difficult. So sorry, me first.
Yep.
I'm gonna say who's an obvious one that hasn't missed a cut. Koepka hasn't missed a cut.
Correct.
Fuck, I was gonna go with that one. Yeah. I don't think Cam Smith has missed the cut this year.
Correct.
I'm gonna go with the safest guess in golf history, Scotty Scheffler.
Correct.
I'm gonna go with. I want to say Ricky Fowler this year. He's been playing so well.
Ricky's not on that list.
Fuck.
Did he miss the Masters? I think. Ricky.
No, it was the
I've
PGA.
literally got the
I
guys.
think it was the PGA. I think it was the PGA Championship he missed.
You know who? Yeah, I've got one in the bag that I know is a lock, 100%, only because I follow him very closely, and that's one Mr. Ryan Fox has not missed the cut.
Ryan Fox has not missed a cut. Well done.
Foxy.
He's like the lowest ranked player by far on this list. So well done.
Yeah,
Foxy.
it doesn't matter if you're making cuts.
Minwoo Lee's done quite well. I'll go with Minwoo.
Min has missed a cut.
Damn.
Unfortunately, yeah.
All right, I'm out. I'm out then, right? I'm off.
You are out. So it's actually now Dan takes that out and it's tied. But I'll run through the list for you guys.
Hold on, let me see if I can get the other two. Let me see if I can get the other ones because we've got how many have we got so far?
You've got 3 and Simon got 1.
Koepka,
So
Smith, Foxy, and Scheffler.
correct.
Rory missed the cut. Rahm almost missed this cut, but Rahm hasn't missed the cut.
Correct.
And I think I might have 2 more. Xander.
Stop looking over the list. You're freaking me out.
No, I'm looking over the list of the people from this one.
No, you can't Google. You cannot be on
I'm not
Google,
Googling.
man.
I'm not Googling.
If I
I've
was
got the
looking at
leaderboard.
names, this would be so much easier.
Right,
I can
turn
see
that
you
off.
looking
Turn
at a
that off.
screen.
Keep
I've
going.
got the leaderboard from this.
Exactly.
Comp. I know Xander
Stop
has
looking
Mr.
at
Cut,
it.
And I know that
This
Cantley
is
has a
trivia.
Mr.
Put
Cut.
your phone away.
I'm not looking at my phone. I'm looking at this.
You're right.
same
Cantley has a
concept.
Mr. Cut. Cantley has
Yeah.
a Mr. Cut.
That's only from this.
All right, keep
tournament.
going. Keep going. Stop looking at the screen.
Hovland has a Mr. Cut,
Correct.
and that's probably all I've got, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
many are
maybe
left?
how many are left?
I don't know, like 4 or 5.
Oh, it can't be that many.
Wait, what about Hatton? He came top 10 in like everything, didn't he?
Yeah, Haddon. Correct.
Jason Day's missed the cut.
Jason Day's definitely Mr. Cut.
He actually missed the cut after he won, which was annoying.
What about Fleetwood? Because he almost missed
Fleetwood?
the cut in the last one, and then he came back. Yeah,
Fleetwood. Yep.
he did what Rahm did.
Yep.
And then I that's probably all I got.
No, there's got to be more big names. I just can't think
Did I
of the
say Hovland
names
already?
at the moment.
You've got a fair few of them.
Did I say Hovland?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wait,
Who-
don't
sorry,
say
how
that.
many have we got left?
Yeah,
Matt Fitzpatrick missed one, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, he missed the last one. He missed the
Cameron
the
Young missed
U.S.
one.
Open.
You
No,
got,
wait.
You got 2 more left.
Give us the continent they come from, not the country, but what continent are they from? The last two.
America.
Okay, what about the other one?
Asia.
Oh, Matsuyama.
Correct.
Nice. And America is definitely not JT.
In America.
I've said Cantlay. It's not That's not Wyndham.
That could be Wyndham.
It's not Homer. Please don't say it's Harmin. I don't
Captain
actually know.
America. Everyone's favorite. Come on, guys.
Everyone's favorite from America.
I already said Ricky Fowler. He's Captain America.
Everyone's favorite.
Are
And
they?
JT's missed the cut. Spieth.
Probably cheated his way in the cut.
Patrick Reed. Yeah.
Yeah, he is Captain America for sure.
Cool. All right. Is that a win or
That's a tie.
it's a tie? All right. Well, we're gonna go to one more. If you guys want to do one more.
Yeah.
Go shoot.
Sharks kill 5 people annually.
yeah.
The closest person. How many people do ants kill annually?
How many
Ants.
people do ants
Ants.
kill?
Ants.
Well, they're definitely like if we're Dan, let's talk this out because we don't know the answer. All right. And how are you gonna assess this? Closest to, or is
Yeah,
it just like
closest to. Closest
okay.
to.
All right.
Okay, so Sharks was how many? 8.
5.
5 on average.
Five.
It's just averages,
But
obviously.
I feel like the amount of people in water versus the amount of people in land, you're way
Yeah.
more and
Yeah.
then ants got some venom that will hurt you way more than a shark will.
Yeah.
Just with pain.
Sharks don't have venom, so
Do you
that's
need me to
probably
go
the best
a
thing.
aquatic creature to make sure that you're feeling right about the water versus water? Like I've got a water one ready to go.
No. I like this.
No, ants are
Give me
good.
this one.
I'm gonna say 250.
Oh, I'm gonna say 20.
It's 30. Well, I'm joking.
I thought it was all those ones. that were from the mosquito.
250 to ants.
But I'll have you know, just
It
so
was a
we
big
are across
break,
it.
man.
Hippos
thinking
kill
more
about
than
hippos
sharks.
kill almost 3,000 people a year.
Yeah, I know hippos are the most dangerous apart from
Owls
mosquitoes,
kill
right?
about 22 people a year. Deer kill about 130 people a year. Jellyfish 40, and horses 20. So there you go.
I'm not surprised on the deer because I feel like deer just running across the road hitting a deer would count as them killing
Make
you.
have a car crash, yeah.
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 Awesome trivia, Hayden. I think actually that's like the first one I've won. And it was
Congratulations, man.
through a tiebreaker.
Yeah. Lucky
so-
Dan didn't get a point per top 12 per 12.
Well,
cut,
he's
guys.
also looking at a list of names, so
Dan, for those of
it
you
should
that
be an
out.
automatic
Hey, Dan, what's the
disqualification.
answer?
You know what?
Oh,
Though,
let me
to be
think about
fair,
that.
you got one before you went out. You got one name before you went out. I could have at least got 4 without looking at anything.
You know what though? I actually had Rom, but I didn't know how many I was allowed to get wrong, so I just kind of gave up because like I got 2 wrong in a row. Because I was trying to find those that I
That
didn't.
might be the first thing you say.
Yeah, I should have done that, but I didn't. So, great trivia, Hayden. One up for me. I'll take it. I don't have many. Guys, the Open on the weekend was Royal Liverpool. It's almost as good as Royal Nudgee. Absolutely beautiful course. This is probably one of my favorite courses of the year. Hayden, you were absolutely right about hole 17. You're either on it and getting par and maybe birdie, or you're gaining like 2 or 3 strokes. Fleetwood got absolutely destroyed on the last day, and I was devastated. Um, it was bad. And even the other, like, do you know what I loved about this course? Is that how many times did you see driver off the tee?
Well, I like that how many times you saw, like, if there was 3 guys on the same tee, they might use 3 different clubs.
Yeah.
That was the best part. It wasn't just like chop and change the exact same thing,
Like, when they're whipping out driver, they're feeling good. Otherwise, they're not. And I absolutely love that. The weather wasn't ideal, but again, that's what made it more challenging about the course. So that kind of played into it. But guys, I love to get your thoughts on this weekend.
It's just golf outside of America, right? It's golf in actual weather conditions like the rest of us in the world play golf. We don't have beautiful sunshine like we do in Brisbane, actually, to be fair. But we've played through a fair few storms, right? Back to our trip last year, we played through some weather. But look, I think that the weather was great. The course was fantastic, and like you said, different clubs all the time. Harmin could barely reach some of the fairways because he's so much shorter than everyone else off the tee. Yet it didn't have to be the biggest driver, obviously.
Yeah.
To win, you had to be the guy who was on the. I think they said the first 12 guys who teed off, there was like on the first day, one of them was on the fairway on that first hole. That first hole was just like aim for the best part of rough you can hit, and hope for a good lie. And we saw so many like great shots out of the rough. Like so many of these guys were hitting 3 woods and 5 woods out of the rough, where I'd be so afraid to take a 3 wood into rough that deep. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I haven't actually played in that kind of grass before, so I don't know how hard it is to hit out. Because I know sometimes like in like some of the American events, there's that really deep grass, but it's actually not that hard to hit out of. Like you'll lose spin, and sometimes you lose a little bit of control, but it's you can still get it up there. I don't know how hard this stuff is to hit out of.
Sort of hay stuff is like what they have down in Melbourne and in the Mornington Peninsula. It's like, and for
on
me,
the sandbelt,
as a very bad golfer, I don't know how they were doing it. You have to get lucky with your lies, but even when I got lucky with my lies, you have to hit through the other, like, through the bushes and get it up quick, and just next level crazy stuff. The best, I mean, I still think the first day was probably one of the best days, watching Rahm and Rory on the 18th in that bunker, both having to chip backwards. Rory tries to take it on, he duffs it, has to have one leg out of the bunker, one leg in the bunker to do one of the best bunker shots we've ever seen.
And do you know what's crazy is Rory had the ability to win this, right? Harmin pulled himself, he gave himself a great lead after the second day, and then backed it up a little bit on the third day and the fourth day. This is like there were so many guys who probably could have challenged it, but none of the guys in the top 10, even the top probably 15, played well the last day. They just kind of like maybe a couple over, a couple under, and then you had guys like Tom Kim, Sepp Straka, who came from behind. If they were winning from the second day, I think they would have beat Harmin. And I'm not saying I didn't want Harmin to win, but I didn't want Harmin to win. Like I was not. He's probably a super nice guy, but I just wasn't cheering for him. I wanted someone to come from behind, but he just held that lead day in after the second day. There was no coming back.
Almost robbed of, like, if you think if Harmin wasn't there, that could have been like, imagine a playoff: Tom Kim, Sepp Straka, Jason Day, and Jon Rahm all going into a playoff on the final day in that weather. I wouldn't want to go into a playoff with Rahm, but Day could have won that, and I'd put money on Day to beat those 3 in the playoff, because he's done it before. He's seen it. Kim and Straka might be a bit out of their depth, but we're sort of robbed of an all-time playoff as well because of Harmin. But you can't. He did what he did.
Oh, and I absolutely love Jason Day playing hatless on the last day in the rain.
Yeah.
Beauty. An absolute beauty. Big shout out to the Australian golfers. I think Min Woo played well. I mean, he didn't quite get there on the last day, but Jason Day played phenomenal on the last day. Cam Smith, he didn't really play his best game that we know he can play. He didn't have it. Like, even off the tee was horrendous. I don't know. Hayden, we'll get into the stats in a minute, but I don't know what Cam Smith had off the tee, but he was pulling everything. He's just literally pulling everything, which is, if he can get that sorted out, his short game's so good, he could win anything. But big shout out to the Australian golfers. It's great to see them all. Ryan Fox out there too. Great to see them play well and challenge the best in the world. Love to see it. On that note, though, let's get into the stats.
Just on the fairways hit and all that, like something I actually struggled to enjoy was off the first tee. A lot of them did hit driver, and man, they were just going all over the place. They were just like big, like power fades, slices, and hooks, and just like it was like if they just gave us drivers and was like, all right, boys, go hit 100 balls, and the pros have to like take your shots. That's what I feel like I was watching.
And that's the difference hitting into the wind, right?
Yeah, it was just like they were just like pew, pew, pew. I was like, and like you can see the pros were just like, oh, okay, whatever, start walking.
Yeah,
I think a lot of them were just like they were just like, I'm hitting out of the rough here, so I'll just see what happens. Yeah. Where's the best rough to be in? Like I said before, some people prefer the right, some people prefer the left.
I would love to know the putting stats on Harmin because I think that's where he destroyed everyone and that's why he won. I feel like he was making like obviously the set stat he was 47 for 48 out of 10 feet.
Out of 59.
Yeah, but even beyond that, like even outside of 10 feet, he was making these ridiculous putts that no one else was getting that close.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Looking at the stats though, again, I like to sort of start with like who lost it really. Any guess for who you think who lost it?
Like who could have won it and lost
it?
Who
lost this?
Oh, Justin Thomas.
Like yes.
Yeah.
He and lost a lot more than just this.
The guy that lost it.
John
the guy that lost it was Cameron Young. He was first approach 2.5 strokes game. He was second off the tee, so with 1.71, which is pretty high for considering the course. And putting for Cameron Young was negative 2.31. So just like he was getting himself on the green, and he just could putt nothing the whole time. So he could have easily have caught Harmin and probably, but like that's the difference, right? It's been the same story all year. It's the same story in beautiful Florida. It's the same story in windy Scotland. The putters.
I wonder if it's like because I get that because he's obviously going to be ahead of Harmin for like approach because Harmin couldn't reach some of these greens in 2 where like Cameron Young could. But Harmin was just doing the on the green in 3, but he was putting himself probably so much closer to where Young was putting him. So hit the putting, he's inside 10 feet rather than having to putt from 30 feet away.
He like one approach. This is the thing I personally can't understand. Like he must have just struggled with
I would like to see like green accuracy. Like I'd like to see where they landed on the green because that is such a huge like approach game just means you're on the green, right? But if you're 40 feet away from the hole versus 10 feet away from the hole,
it's not just on the green. No, they don't just look at it like that. They look at like where you are on the green. They factor that in. It's the same with drives, right? Like if you hit it really long and off the fairway, they factor that in because sometimes you put yourself closer, and that's more strokes gained just doing that.
A couple of weird ones for you. Around the greens, Jason Day 1.48 was the highest player that didn't make the cut, and he was surrounded by 9 people that got cut.
Who?
He did make the cut.
Jason Day.
He made the cut.
Jason Day made the cut. 1.48 around the greens, and the other people who were the top around the greens were all cut.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said he did make the cut.
So I don't even know what that means. I just thought that looked weird.
That means that they've had bad approach shots and they've had to chip instead of being on the
ground.
Those guys are scrambling all weekend.
What's another one that I thought was quite interesting? Jordan Spieth. Of the people that made the cut, Jordan Spieth, the worst putter by like a country mile, negative 3.29 strokes gained putting.
And this is what I was saying about putting is like it's a whole different game. Jordan Spieth, when he was dominating back in 2016, was the best putter in the PGA by far. Like he was making you would be surprised if he missed a 20-footer. And now he's at this. Like it's so hard, man. It's so hard.
Which and then we go full circle back to Brian Harmin. 2.85 strokes gained putting. The second, Tom Kim, 1.9.
Yeah. I reckon Tom Kim would have like his approach stats would be amazing.
I think he was. I didn't write him down particularly, but yeah, he was. Yeah, that's crazy. Like that's almost a full stroke game putting. Like that's crazy. So just shows again, same old story. You pop the ball, you win.
What did you guys think of the bunkers? The pop bunkers.
I love it. Like seeing Rory and Rahm up again. Like I love watching them have to hit back out of it, and like watching Rory's mind tick over about, can I take this on? Can I not take it on? Then trying and failing, and then hitting a perfect shot. And like if you're in a fairway bunker, it actually meant something, because so many times you see these fairway bunkers that these dudes just hit out perfectly of anyway. It doesn't make it, they just get a little bit less spin, right? Whereas this time it's like if you're in a fairway bunker, it's like you're not making the green in two.
Hayden, do we have any stats on the amount of I don't know if there's anything to kind of say, but like the amount of bunkers that people would hit like on their approach shots? Because I feel like, especially on that first hole, everyone was getting in the bunker, like either the left or the right.
Bunker save stats at all.
Yeah.
No, but to be honest, like it surprised me. Like everyone's like, "Oh, the bunkers are so bad, it's hard." Like the pros, they did such a good job with it. I didn't see anyone like someone got screwed over. Someone couldn't get out. And I can't remember who it was. It took them like 2 or 3 to get it.
The 18th was really bad. I think Mickelson went bunker to bunker at one point.
Someone got stuck in a bunker and it took them 3 shots to get out.
JT hit a 9 on the 18th, didn't he, on the first day? Foxy hit a 7 on the. He went 7 over because I think he hit a 9 as well on that 18th hole. Yep. Actually, shout out to Foxy from going from I think he was a 70. What did he hit? He was a 78 on the first day and came back to make the cut, and then actually do a decent 4 over. He went 78 on the first day, so 7 over.
But the other thing too, like it's not always about winning, because you got guys like Max Homer over the moon. He made his first top 10 in a major. I think even so, and he was like celebrating like he won. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, you'd be happy with that. I honestly, I think that the amount, like a lot of these guys are lucky. A lot of the big name guys are lucky that cut line moved from +2 to +3 at the end. There was going to be so many people, big names, who wouldn't have made it.
It moved to +4, I think.
+4.
Foxy was +3, and I thought he was going to be gone.
What about Cam Smith making the cut with an eagle? Like,
I know, man.
That was fantastic.
It was insane.
He had to birdie or par it, right, and then he hit that second shot that was just absolutely perfect.
Did you guys have a favorite hole from the tournament? A hole that in particular you're like, this is well designed, or you're like, this is the hole where I'm excited to see people play? Was it the stretch? Was it the start? Was it the 17th that we spoke about before?
It was the third. Was it the third that had the internal out of bounds along the right hand side?
I think that's the fourth. I think that's the fourth.
I found that hole quite fascinating. I remember looking at it thinking, I would like to play it, and I would for sure have to hit a 3-wood off the tee, because you wouldn't even look at your driver, would you? Because just I don't know. That's kind of cool. I like that. So.
I think it's the third, but with for the members, it's the first. Like that's supposed to be the first hole of the course, but they changed it around for this tournament.
And they all kept missing it, like left of the green, like and rolling down off the left.
Yeah, because they were so worried about. There was one day, I think it maybe was day 2 or day 3, where the pin was 8 feet from out of bounds or something. Like it was because it was so tucked on the right hand side.
Yeah.
that was a really cool hole.
And what's terrifying about that hole, right, is like the green is literally like, so if you hit any type of fade, like if it fades your normal shot, that hole would be absolutely terrifying, because you can't be anywhere off the green on the right side, which is terrifying. And what's really cool about these holes is that like these weren't designed intentionally to like give a bit of a challenge. They were designed that way probably because of the old railway lines that would go there. And it's like to avoid hitting, onto the train tracks, they'd have to put an internal out of bounds there just to keep people from hitting balls out there. So it's really cool architecture. I think that's kind of like old school. That's now added a really good challenge to these holes, even if that wasn't the intent at the time. So yeah, it's I don't know. I love that hole. 17 ended up being very entertaining. I didn't like the first hole, as you were saying, Hayden. Like probably 10. If you're watching it religiously, you would have seen a couple. But if you're just watching it kind of during your day, you probably only would have seen like 10 shots landing on the fairway. And
I think the bit that got me maybe was in the PGA Tour, I'm so used to them hitting down with like trees lining the fairway, and when they hit these slices or they hit these draws or whatever, you can kind of go, oh yeah, that's a dogleg lift, so they're going to draw it around there or fade it there, or there's a layup area. But the way the camera was, it was kind of like below chest height, so they were like shooting balls up into the sky, and you don't know, like I didn't know where they were going. Like I knew where the hole was. It went like left and then went right, then turned left, but like there was no perspective for me to see, is that a good slice? Is it a bad slice? Because some slices were good, and it was really hard for me to like understand what was happening.
Yeah,
I really liked that. I really liked the first hole actually because of that exact reason. Like it was a bit more difficult. The third hole as well that you just said, that was a great hole. And the 18th, I love the 18th. I love that on the first day everyone was in the bunkers, and I think there was only like an 8-foot gap between two bunkers that like led up onto the green. So it was like very difficult to not be in there. And I think Max Homer said on the day 2 he could hear the broadcasters over the big screen, and the broadcasters said, "Oh, I think that's too much club for Max Homer," and he didn't back off the ball. He heard it, and then he smashed this huge this snap hook way left of the green, had to go to the drop zone, and then afterwards he's like, "I could hear the announcers say it was too much club, but I knew it was too much club, but I hit it anyway," which made me myself, you know.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I don't know how I feel about them hearing the announcers talk about their shots beforehand.
That'd be funny if he was like, "Oh yeah," and then when it changes club,
yeah, no,
would be like,
It's crazy though. Like
sorry.
I was just gonna say we had that interview with Zach Maxwell not too long ago. Shout out to Zach, talking about how it's a game of ego, right?
Yeah.
Mac, you know.
Yeah, too much club instead of the opposite, right?
Yeah, like Holin knew.
But that was probably my sort of favorite. There was the first couple and the last. I think they were really good. There just wasn't as much drama as there normally is because of Harmin's massive unassailable lead, I guess.
I wish
actually there was one shot that I loved.
I wish the fourth day was beautiful sunshine weather. It would have made it interesting. Someone like Rahm could have really put the foot down, put a bit of pressure.
I feel like Harmin would have just gone 3 or 4 under again. He was playing so well. The dude couldn't hit anything wrong really. But I was going to say there was one shot of Tommy Fleetwood that I loved because to me it just epitomizes links golf. They had the camera right down at his level so you could see what he could see, and he was in the middle of the fairway on, I think it was hole 4 or something, and all he could see was this huge hill in front of him because the fairways are rolling, right? And just clear blue sky and nothing else. And that's like obviously playing links courses down in Melbourne. I remember doing that so many times where you're stoked that you've hit a shot in the fairway and you get up to your ball and you've got no idea where to hit it because you can't see over the fairway in front of you. And it just puts into perspective how hard that course actually would be.
Yeah. Thank God for GPS. I can't imagine playing.
But I mean, like they know the course, right? They're obviously a lot better than us. But even with virtual maps and stuff, as a player, you're kind of like, well, I don't know what I'm aiming at. I need a point of reference. You know, you start aiming at clouds in the sky.
It's quite interesting, like the tagline that was forged by nature, I think it was. Is that what they had written everywhere? And like it's quite true that like you couldn't build it if you tried.
No.
Yeah. So it's, yeah.
Do we have a notable favorite players who maybe didn't win, or notable players that didn't make the cut that you were very surprised to see?
That's a long list of the people who didn't make the cut.
I was surprised to see Cam Young so high. I had him to miss the cut quite convincingly. I thought he'd be terrible, but he proved me wrong and then some. So
I think he's actually
cheering him on at the end there.
I think he's actually like a good links golfer. I think he's because he played really well in obviously the Open last year as well, and maybe that was confidence playing into it, maybe not, but maybe he's just a really good links golfer. Maybe he likes that type of atmosphere.
Got so much distance, I think, that maybe it's like when he pulls out the 4 iron or the 3 iron, he just gets that little bit of extra something that like Foxy has, for example.
There's something to us picking notable guys to miss that makes them play well. Like I think doing it with Fleetwood, and then me and you this week, I did it with Rahm. Rahm was 1 stroke off missing the cut, come second. Cam Young, said he was going to miss the cut. What did he come in the end? Well, he could have come second. He was probably going for it too hard at the end and ended up with an 8th. But there's something we're going to keep an eye on that. We'll be picking people to miss the cut and to win outright. So,
yep. And we got to make a rule right now. If like I call someone to miss the cut, you cannot change your picks to make them like a top 10 or something like that because we called it. Just putting that out there now. You got to stick with your picks.
You gotta stick. I think the guys who obviously there's a lot of people that underperformed, but it was weird to see even people who made the cut. Like Brooks seemed a bit off. Like he just seemed a bit grumpy. He wasn't Like he seemed like he's overdue for a haircut. Just wasn't really there.
I think he's the type of guy that if he knows he's not going to win, he's just whatever.
Shoulders down, yeah.
I think it's just those fancy Florida boys. Like they don't like that. They don't like the wind. They don't like the rain. You know, they want pure. They want 25 Celsius. You know.
Yeah. They want that American golf.
A lot of different flags up the top, but yeah, lots of people missed the cut. I mean, huge names that we've sort of already had a look at, but.
What about notable players who maybe you didn't know that well that you were very impressed with their golf game? Like obviously Jordan tied with Fleetwood at -4. He was the local home course, right? Like you love to see that. It gives me hope that like maybe if the best in the world played at my course, I could contend with them, even though I know I can't. It's one of those things. Gives you a little bit of hope.
The one that pops up for me again, which is really, really strange. And he's won this year, and we spoke about him narrowly almost winning the US Open, I think it was. And he finished highly against Sepp Straka again. Can put 4 days together. Can put 4 days together for sure. Like, what did he win, like 2 weeks ago? It was a bit of a plumbers and builders tournament, but still.
He won, was it last week he won?
Yeah.
He won like the John Deere or something, didn't he?
Yeah, and he became very, very close to winning. I think it was the US Open, maybe, but just
he was up there. Yeah, he was top 10.
Oh no, it wasn't the US Open. It was probably the PGA Championship. Anyway,
one of them.
Just interesting. He still keeps popping up.
For me, it's J-Day. We thought he was done for the year. He comes out with a T2. Like that was not that we're not surprised by his golf game. We obviously know how good at golf he is, but surprised by him sort of just coming out of the woodwork and playing well. A huge surprise was Alex Fitzpatrick, Maddie's brother, played really well. Out to prove a point, right?
I think there's something to be said for Jason Day with like adversity. Like he does seem like he's been through the ringer a little bit, and a little bit of wind and a bit of rain is probably not going to affect him as much as
playing field for him.
Yeah, a little bit. He's probably quite stoic.
And also, we gotta give a big shout out to our boy who I was really impressed with, Adam Scott. Hung in there. Yeah. He's still an amazing golfer. I think he tied with Cam Smith at +1 or something. Like it's not a great score. Like it's nowhere close to Harmin, but I thought he was up for the count, and then he again puts in a great last day, and he still hangs in there. Another one, Sharma. I didn't know Sharma going into it. An Indian player, played fantastic golf, beautiful swing. Love to see that kind of golf. So some great guys, and that's the great thing about the Open, right? Anyone who qualifies can win. You don't need to be a professional golfer to win. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Just looking at total strokes gained. Tom Kim won total strokes gained. So,
yeah, not surprised. And
then
he played
obviously
great.
Scotty's in third, of course, because he's the king of strokes gained.
And just the worst putter on earth.
Was he that bad this weekend?
He was pretty bad. Just from the eye test.
He was actually pretty good across the board.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that bad.
Putting. His approach was his worst. Oh no, his around the off the tee. Sorry, 1.1.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I thought he put it into the rough way too many times.
Yeah, so all green numbers there for Scotty. Like he played quite well. Just behind him, Rory, Jason Day, Straka. There you go. So.
Did he make top? He didn't make top 10 though this time.
No, he was plus. He was even at 23. For 23rd.
Tied for 23rd, just even though he shot -4 the last day.
I sort of miss a lot of putts. I don't know if that was just like just me seeing the right putts at the right time, but I sort of missed some putts that he definitely shouldn't have.
Yeah. I really loved watching Brooks and Scotty on the last day to playing together, and they were just like, man, they were flying. I reckon there was about one practice swing between them all day.
Yeah.
They were just like, let's get out of here.
And they were stuck behind some like no-name guy.
Yeah, they were just like, fuel the jet up. We're going to be at the airport in 20 minutes. Like,
yeah. I actually thought Scotty might make more of a push. He's at -4, which is still like one of the best scores of the day, I think, of the last day. But I thought he was going to go even lower. I mean, chipping in, doing everything he does. To end even, I think, was a bit of a disappointment.
He was laughing away in the rain. He was happy to go back.
He's always laughing, man. He's such a like I don't think I've ever seen him in like a negative attitude.
Yeah.
Great guy. Anyway, talking about all the other players, let's talk about the champ, the Open champion, Harmin. Danny's now favorite golfer. Danny Harmin is his new nickname.
Danny accidentally had a bit of an omen for Harmin, talking about all the left-handers, including Harmin last week. So
there's an answer to one of our questions last week, and none of us had ever spoken about him before. And he goes out with the Open, so there's a bit to that.
Yeah.
So what do we like about Harmin? What do we not like about Harmin? I think the latter is very obvious.
Yeah. Don't like the twitching. I don't like that.
Did you count? Did you count the twitches?
No, I couldn't watch him.
Me and Kirsten made a game of it.
Yeah, how high did you get?
12.
Oh my gosh. I just don't like the thing about Harmin.
Yeah.
I normally like watching left-handers play, or like not when I'm playing with them, but the thing about Harmin was like I didn't enjoy anything that he did. Even though I knew he was putting really well, like I just didn't enjoy watching it. Didn't like the way he went about his golf. Seems like a really nice guy. I'm sure he's a fantastic guy, and I'm sure he'll never win another Open again, or another major again. But like it's just, and it sort of does. Someone said to me this week, they're like, that just proves like that the Open, anyone can win the Open. That's why it's called the Open, right? Anyone can win it. But for me, I'm just like he just does nothing for me. I think it's the worst thing that's happened to golf this year, and I think that we were robbed of what could have been an awesome playoff.
Yeah. It's hard. I put a lot of blame on the conditions. Like I said, if it was sunny the whole time, it would have been very different. It just I don't like that. It's like a bigger version of like Oak Hill when you're leading into the 15th. Like you pretty much have to throw it away to lose, kind of thing. But we just saw the same thing happen over like a day and a half.
I honestly thought at the start he was going to throw it. You know, he goes what, like bogey or like bogey par bogey. I thought he was going to throw it, and I thought and that's the thing. And that's the thing too. Like this is one of my positives for him is that he didn't. Right?
Yeah, true.
So many guys get up to the top who haven't been there before and they choke and they throw it. He stayed there, and he not only did he not like get any positive scores like some of the other big names did, like he kept playing good golf, kept going under par, kept adding to his score. I'll give that to him. Like that's great golf. Obviously the negatives, I don't like the twitch. I understand a lot of guys, you know, when you're going out and playing golf, getting comfortable is hard, right? So you got to find something that works for you. That's what he does. Sure, go for it. But man, like get comfortable quicker, man. I can't watch you play golf.
One of my friends that is in a
You're already a left-hander.
Some of us.
You're already bad enough.
On Saturday, our time, he was just like, and he's getting into golf, and he was just like, boys, what the fuck? I cannot watch Harmin. Like, it just, yeah. And this is someone that like he doesn't play as much golf with us, doesn't watch as much, started to watch a lot, but just immediately just was like, I cannot deal with this guy.
Is this your friend of yours from New Zealand?
Yeah.
Is he playing golf now?
So I was actually speaking to him the other day. He was like, I think I'm going to go get some cheap clubs and then just go have a hit around my local 9. I was just like, stop, go and find someone and go do lessons. Don't do what we did and then have to pay someone to unteach you what you've learned. Like, please just go get lessons, then buy your clubs. So he's thinking about it.
There's the thing. It's a big investment though, isn't it? Especially if you're married with children, like he is. I think it's maybe get a second set off marketplace is what I'd be doing if I was him, and having a hit, and then find something that suits you, because with a big fella like him, he's gonna need some fittings done for sure.
Yeah. So, but I was trying to reinforce the fact of while you can, before you learn all kinds of crazy stuff like us, go and get a pro to teach you the basics, and you'll not have to undo 6 months worth of rubbish.
Big shout out to Dave. Don't get fitted until you get your swing down. Learn to play first. Anyway, whatever you think about Harmin, he did go out there and he did get it. He held off all the fucking dogs. Rahm was there second day. It looked like Rahm might make a charge, and he just couldn't make it happen the next day. Well done, Harmin. We're all, you know, you earned it. None of us are going to take that away from you.
Yeah, it definitely happened. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, it happened. Speaking of things that happened, Ashko Bhatia.
Oh, let's just get into it. Yes.
At the Barracuda. But the bit that disappointed me, day 3, Joel Damon, he's like T2, and I'm like, here we go. Joel Damon, everyone's favorite. Everybody loves
Not
Joel
my favorite.
I mean, you know what I mean. Like he's a good guy.
He's a Everyone good guy.
But man, do you know what? He disappeared to something like T15.
Yeah. Well, I don't care. I
Joel
have
Damon.
I have no stake in the game for Joel Damon. He's obviously lacks the confidence. Yes, he got a bit famous on Netflix, but man, I have no confidence that guy will win anything ever. Just because he's a bit famous now, I have no confidence he'll win anything. Like
No,
until
I mean, he'd be the first person to agree with you.
stop, I know, and that's the worst thing. Like start making some top 10, start grinding up there. You're a great golfer. We all know you can do it. Yeah. Anyway.
I love the passion.
Yeah.
Never change, mate. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But Tia, I've been backing this guy all year. We didn't have any bets on this tournament, and then he goes and wins. Man,
we would have.
I would have backed him.
Yeah.
Looking at that field, I would have backed him. Do you know what's sad? I think he won this tournament, right? Guess how much money he won?
800,000.
300K. That was the prize for this PGA event.
I thought I was lowballing it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but man, I mean, to be really cool, like I really like the guy, and for him to go out and win a Stableford tournament in the PGA, it's just man of the people. You know what I'm saying? Like man of the people, and now he's earned his card. He's here to stay. He's exempt next year. Way to go, Batia. Huge fan. Good job. And if you watched it, I only watched the highlights. I'm not gonna lie and say I watched the whole tournament. I definitely didn't. The Open was on. That would be crazy. But he went out there, and if you watch the highlights, he had to birdie the last hole to tie the leader. He did, and then went on and won the playoff. Like huge round of applause. It was great. It was great to watch. Good for you, mate.
Speaking of earning cards, was Minwoo Lee's performance this week? Does that I think he confirmed his card for next year in the PGA this week as well?
I think he already had.
Yeah.
Or was it Foxy? Someone did it this week.
They both did. I'm pretty sure they both did before this weekend.
They got like, I know that they got like an exception to some events, but I feel like they both got like full cards now. And maybe it happened last year, maybe we missed it, but I heard that on the commentary. I was like, that's awesome. I'd love to see Minwoo and Foxy.
Yeah, I think I read it. I don't know if it was after the last major or one of the tournaments after the last major, but they definitely earned it before this one. They were both like, yeah, it felt really bad for DP because they were losing these guys, but obviously this PGA is where you want to be.
Sergio back next year.
Yeah, how good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's good. These guys can all go, like, where's it, Foxy and Minwoo at Mexico with Finau next year? That'd be fantastic. So
amazing.
You know, Foxy would be a great Mexico Open champion.
Well, I mean, look, to be honest, it's going to be really interesting. These boys with FedEx Cup points and things like that when it comes to earning your designated spots next year, because that's FedEx Cup is so important. I think we should do a breakdown maybe coming into the Tour Championship with just how close that some of these guys are from like losing designated events.
But it's probably not even going to matter next year because with the new Saudi overlords, they're probably just going to pick and choose who they want to play. And you don't even have to earn it anymore.
It's all fixed now anyway.
It's all fixed. That's right.
They wanted Harmin to win.
I can't wait to support the four-leaf clovers, Rory's live team.
Who would that be? Who would that be? Would that be him? Shane Lowry, obviously. Who else would be on that team?
Hatton.
Seamus Power.
Seamus Power, yeah. Would be Hatton.
Yeah.
Would be Hatton. Hatton would be some.
It'd be Hatton because Hatton will add the.
It'd be Tommy Fleetwood because he wishes he was Irish.
Nah, he was he was the boy in Liverpool. There's no way.
Tommy will go to Live and win every event because he can't win a PGA event.
Yeah,
he just win everything and Live.
Can I just say before, because we're about to go on to the picks, but we got to talk about Tommy Fleetwood's performance. The man shoots 5 unders, tied for the lead on the first day, and then goes even.
No, even 1 over. He went.
Did you go 1 over? Oh yes, yeah, 1 over. Yeah, last day.
That par 3 where he smoked it over the back.
3, triple bogey on that. Man,
I think he looked like a drowned rat all weekend.
Yeah, even when it was sunny.
Even when it was sunny.
When was it sunny? Hey, don't mess with Fleetwood, all right?
Look, I mean, usually with Fleetwood, there's an element of like, he doesn't have the distance, but like Harmin proved that's not a thing.
You know
he's
what?
A fantastic iron player. I don't know why he didn't do better.
I'm just looking at that par 3 where he triple bogeyed, right? If he pars that, he comes second.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference in paycheck alone.
I mean, it's not Tommy is really good short game normally, right? But I reckon like the last 2 days, he's missing putts by inches. like every putt, man. It was so frustrating. He gave himself so many birdie opportunities and wasn't making any of them. It was so frustrating to watch. I know he has the ability, and I don't know what it is. He's got the ability to make, to win these things easily, and he doesn't do it. It kills me.
He had, on the last day, he had no bogeys, right? The front nine, he had all pars and one birdie. Back nine, he had all pars, one birdie, and one triple bogey. So it was literally
I feel
just
like
that par
Tommy
three.
is not a killer.
No, he's definitely
Oh,
not.
he's the nicest dude. He is the
Yeah.
nicest dude. He's
Tommy's
not a
the
killer.
guy that if you're
He's
like
no John
first
Rahm.
and the guy that's going to catch you is Tommy Fleetwood, I feel like you know you're probably not sweating as much as if it was Rory or if it was Rahm or Scotty or something like that. So he plays at a slower speed tempo.
Like I feel like if you were hitting a shot and you thought it might be short and you're like, go, Tommy Fleet would be that guy behind you, just like blowing the wind, trying to make it happen. He's just such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
He's not built for that that playoff that he lost, right? Like he's just not built for that pressure environment.
I don't know, man. He's played enough golf. He should be.
In that playoff, though, and granted, both of them tried to throw it away multiple times. So
yeah. Well, anyway, we don't need to go back to a Canadian Open tournament. All right, let's get into the picks with Danny Bidness or Danny Harmin. Danny Bidness. What do we this week?
Doesn't matter.
Right, Danny Bagels. Danny Bagels. Let's go.
Yeah, so look, last week we had a couple wins, not very many. I think that I thought our picks were solid leading into the tournament, but for some reason they just didn't come off. So I had Hatton at a T20, which came through, only paying $2, which wasn't great. And Shanky, you had Fleetwood as the top Englishman, which you would have got paid full amount for if he had not triple bogeyed that par three. But because he triple bogeyed, because he got a 6 on a par three, you didn't get half the amount, unfortunately.
So just say that is a load of crock. He was still the top Englishman. He was still the top Englishman.
I had this argument because I had Tommy Fleetwood to be leader. I had Hovland to be leader day one on another thing, and then he was even leader, and then I did only got paid half the amount. I thought it was rubbish too, but apparently that's the way it works.
All right.
This week for the 3M
make our own rules, though.
that everyone's super excited for, we're just going to keep it a bit simple. We're going to go T10, T20, and then 2 T40s to add a little bit of spice to the end of it. I think Hayden started last week, so let's go with you, Shanky.
Sure. All right. Picks. I'm trying to. The way I work these picks is I always try not to pick obvious because there are some big names that are playing. Ryan Fox is playing this tournament. I could easily put him in there.
Everyone's playing for second.
But I'm trying to get back into the positive. I'm what am I minus 50? Oh, minus 59. I lost a lot this week. I'm gonna start T40 Bo Hostler. Bo's been playing okay lately, so I feel like he can make a top 40.
Yep.
My top 20. I'm going with a solid pick, who I think he's an old dog, but I think can easily make top 20. Stuart Sink played well at the Open.
It's not a C, isn't it?
Sink, yep. And then my top 10, just a big left curve ball, whatever you call it, the old baseball thing that we don't play here. I'm going Ludvig. I feel like Ludvig Aberg. He's got a lot of potential. This could be his tournament to break that top 10.
Yeah, all right. I need another top 40 from you because we're going to do 2 T40s. But you think about it. Have a look.
Just throwing that. All right, whatever. Brian Fox. Sure. Support Foxy.
Foxy's a Loxy. That's what it is.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll just give me free money.
Free money. All right, I'm going to go next. So my T40, I'm going to go with Mr. Sung Jae Im and Foxy, which I already had. Again. So
sorry,
Jae, I think.
Can I ask, do you have to make both?
Yep. Yeah. So both are going to be top 40. Little multi there.
Okay.
Sung Jae Im, otherwise it's not going to be worth much. Sung Jae Im for me seems like he's prime, ready to go, and Foxy's just always prime and ready to go. T20 for me, I think he's had a disappointing little while, but this is where he sort of hit his straps last year. I'm going to go with Mr. Tony Finau, to be a T20. And T10, I think coming off of a bit of disappointment, getting back on American soil, I'm going to go with Cam Young for T10. Keep in mind, a bit more simple, but when you're $176 in the negative, you need to.
Are these Hayden's picks or your picks?
Yeah, I'm taking Hayden's strategy.
Finau's going to go murder all these commentators this weekend.
I know, but I figure I'm losing by more than $100 I need to do something to get some money back.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's crazy is that Hayden lost all his picks last week, and he's still winning by like 150.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. That's what happens when you pick bloody Scheffler for every week. All right, what do you got, ITs?
My T40s, I'm gonna go Cam Champ, and I'm gonna go Chad Ramey. Yep. My T20, I'm gonna go Seb Strucker.
Good pick.
And my T10, I'm gonna go Sanjay.
So you're gonna go with him as well. Awesome. T10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised
He's one of the favorites, so I don't know what you're doing T40, but yep.
Just need to get that money.
I don't know. I'm surprised no one picks Foxy top 10 for this.
So just
He's got a lot of travel.
mention Bo Hostler was crossed out on my list. And Ashkay was on my list, but he's not playing. And Arberg is crossed out on my list. So I like it.
I was considering Akshay, but I thought this might be a come down week for him, so I've held on.
I don't think he's in the field.
Akshay's on the field this week?
I don't think so.
What's his last name?
Batia.
B, right?
Batia.
No, he's not.
Okay. Well,
he would have been my T20 Ashkay if he was there.
Champ is someone who should have been better, but hasn't, right? So I feel like because he's a big hitter too, yeah.
He's been injured, so but I know he won this like 3 years ago or something like that. So
my honorable mention is Sam Bennett. I do like his game.
I like him for a T40.
Yeah, honorable mention.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna change mine a little bit. I'm gonna change Fiend out to the top 10, right? I'm gonna keep Sanjay Im at 20, and then I'm gonna go instead of Im and Foxy. I've got a feeling that what's his name, Nikolai Hogard. Hogard's gonna be in there.
Okay. What are you doing? You can't do a mid-game swap.
This is as bad as the quiz.
Of course I can.
No, picks were locked.
Cam Young. I think Cam Young's a bit of a Hayden pick. I think it's a bit too safe, and I don't like it.
Look, you can read my picks out again if you want to.
You literally just said you need safe picks to get. Or actually, how many events do we have before the FedEx Cup? What, 2 events? 3 events?
Yeah, but it's at the end of the FedEx Cup that that this all wraps up. So.
Oh, I thought we said this ended. I thought this ended at the FedEx Cup. Then we started a new.
Oh, we'll figure that out. But I just figure that, Cam Young's probably not going to pay much to be a T10 anyway.
Yeah,
all right.
Probably
all done.
Cam Young?
Sorry? So we got the 3M, and then it goes into FedEx Cup, Wyndham, FedEx, and then BMW.
All right.
Actually, no, I lied. There's another event, but anyway.
Yeah, BMW's in the FedEx,
Yeah.
All right. On that, great picks, guys. I have no issues with any of those, except for the last minute change. I thought that was a bit, uncalled for, but whatever. Let it go.
We're gonna have to make a new rule: screens off.
Yeah, we're turning the screens off. Let's just not have any information ready before we start talking.
Screens off. Great.
No. I think screens on for the golf chat. If we're looking at like the leaderboard, right? Like you want to look at the leaderboard for the golf chat, but if we're doing trivia and we're doing, that kind of stuff, you can't be looking up names during trivia. Illegal.
Right.
I'm called for.
Right. I'm just looking at
you got the win, mate. Calm down.
It's fine.
I know, but I could have lost on a technicality. So, last segment of the show, holing out, boys. This is the way. This is for the listeners who are just tuning in now. This is the way we kind of like end our show, talking about something good or potentially bad, but mostly good that we appreciate for the week, just to end on a good note. So this week, holing out. I'm gonna start with our boy, as always, Danny Business.
That with me, mate. Yeah, look, I'm holing out on. I went down to get a bit of a rub down this afternoon, get a massage. Who had a bit of a sore shoulder, and they absolutely put me through it, and I came out of there. I was almost in tears. It was that bad. So,
is this your barber?
No. Went for it. The place that we go down at around the corner. And they're some of the strongest people on earth, I think, some of those masseurs. So I got absolutely destroyed, and it was very, very painful. And she told me that I'll feel better tomorrow. So we'll see how we go. But holding out on just having an afternoon massage.
I gotta quickly comment on that. to my family and friends, I have no idea what he's talking about when he says a place around the corner. Like, what are you talking about?
That one.
Are you talking about Frangipani? Like, are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that one. Yeah, the one
That's,
that
that's,
which is
that's
around
not
the corner
on
from
any
you.
corner. That's literally like in a proper mall. Like
in the shopping center. Yeah.
shopping
That have
center.
like blacked out windows and like neon lights.
No,
No,
they have signs
these
up. They have
ladies
signs up literally in their shop
these are
that says,
professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are professionals. I had a sore shoulder. She literally got her hand underneath my pec muscle, and it was horrible. But she said I need to stretch more, and then I'll feel better tomorrow, which I've heard about 1,000 times, and I still will not stretch. So, holding out on not stretching.
You need to stretch.
I know, but I live and die by the sword. So.
Listen to Pete. Anyway, Hayden High Tees, what are you holding out on?
Holding out on. I'm gonna go two things just quickly because Dan usually does two. First one is my 60 degree, being a bit more confident with it, following through, and actually hitting good shots with my 60 is changing my game a little bit. So I'm holding out on that, of giving it a chance, being a bit more aggressive with it, and it's paying a few dividends. The main thing though that I want to hold out on is brownies. Like I'm talking dessert brownies with vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
Hot brownies, vanilla ice cream. We just got some the Costco, the big mix you can get, made them up. Man, game changer. It's so good.
Is vanilla ice cream the most underrated ice cream flavor because it literally goes with everything? It makes other things so much better.
I agree.
Ice cream
it makes
by
other
itself.
things. It levitates other things. It carries other things. It's such a great. The brownies chewy, and it was fantastic. So if you haven't had that combo, all of our listeners, including Justin Thomas, get out there, get some brownies and vanilla ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah. It's got to be good vanilla though. It can't be like, it's got to be like signature kind of like good vanilla, not like just crappy vanilla.
What's good vanilla?
French vanilla.
Yeah,
French.
Like it's got to be fancy ice cream.
Parlez-vous français? All right. Thanks, Hayden. I'll finish off with my holing out, which is our we've been having a cleaner come in once every 1 or 2 weeks, and my God, they can just, like, things that I thought were done, they can just clean them and then they're good again, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's like a job.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a little putting mat too that's like an accessory to the house, and I come downstairs and like I have a dog that sheds like a mother, and there's been hair all over it, and that's been kind of like I'm wondering, does this putting mat, is it going left or right because of the hair, or is it is it me? I don't know. I come downstairs, the mat, the putting mat is immaculate, and I'm just like, I've tried to vacuum this thing myself, and the hair just doesn't come off, and she just cleans it amazingly. And not only that, it takes stress off, us in the family. We have a newborn who I can hear crying, and it's 8:30 at night, so it's been a big stress reliever for us. So big holing out, big shout out to our cleaner at the moment. She's fantastic and a lovely person. That's my holing out for the week, boys.
Yeah, game changer.
Game changer. Out on that note, boys, it's been great talking to you. Danny Business, Hayden High Tees, and myself, Shanky, signing off.
See you later.